Welcome back to another roundtable. My name is Adam. With me once again are Rusmin and Victor.
Hello. Hi everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us. And today we're still going to talk about bonds, Singapore bonds.
Yep, fixed income.
Fixed income and AAA rated and everything. And in one of our previous roundtables, we talked about the Singapore savings bond, which had a headline figure of 3% interest, which was very, very tempting.
Yes,
Did you get some?
I've forgotten to apply, but I won't miss out for the next one.
But anyway, 3% is something that we've never seen. If you want to check out the Singapore savings bond and whether it's a place where you can park your money while you're waiting for market opportunities, do check out that roundtable. But in that video that we did, there were some questions about other bonds that the Singapore government have, which is the SGS bond and the T-bills, Treasury bills. And what's the difference between that and the SSB, the Singapore Savings Bond. So we're going to discuss that today, what the pros and cons, and which one would you pick, for if you want to park your money somewhere else. All right, so why don't we introduce the SGS bond and the Treasury bill and what they are about?
Okay, so I think they are all different debt securities that the government provides. Okay, it just give a bit of different options also, like in terms of the periods that you're going to invest in them, right? So if you look at SSB, right, so they immediately they put 10 years period, right? For SGS, you have your 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and 30 years. So you got many options. For T-bills, it's only like 6 months or a year. Okay, so that is basically the first difference that they have. I think the second one is that if you were to look at SGS, right, bonds, right, they pay a fixed interest rate. So they base on this amount, their continuous base, but every day the share price will just fluctuate up and down. So it depends on the yield that you're going to get. But SSB, most of the time they have a step up interest rates on that. Right. For T-bills, there's no interest. Right. You only get back your money when at the end of the whole maturity.
So you buy at a discount from face value.
Correct.
That's for the T-bills.
Yes. And for the frequency of issuance, I think if you look at Singapore saving bond, they do it almost every month. And likewise for Singapore government security, also they do it on a monthly basis. But T-bills, I think they do it on a fortnight or quarterly basis. Okay. And the quantum, of course, minimum is $500 for SSB. T-bills and Singapore government securities is about 1,000.
Still very accessible for almost everyone.
For most people,
Yeah. So I think the main figure most people will look at is the interest rate first.
Yes, correct.
So the SSB is the highest at 3%.
3%. Yeah.
But I think the SSB kind of follows the SGS as well.
Yes.
Because the following months SSB will take on the interest rate of the SGS. But so the interest rates are comparable, right? Pretty similar.
Yeah.
So is there any difference why you would pick SGS over the SSB or T-bill? I mean, I guess the T-bill is because you want something short term. But so let's look at the SSB versus the SGS. Why would you pick one or the other?
I think it really depends on whether you can stomach the volatility, right? Okay. Because if you were to invest in SGS, your capital base is not guaranteed, right? Okay. Because you can't redeem it until the end of the maturity, right? But in between, you can sell it in the secondary market. So for SSB, there's no secondary market, but you can redeem it back on a monthly basis.
And there's no penalty for the redemption.
There's no penalty, and your capital is protected, right? But for SGS, if you were to buy it at the wrong time, or maybe sell it at the wrong time, right? The price may be below the price that you have bought, right? Yeah. So you will lose out on that. Right?
I think one good example would be, I think 2 years ago, if you look at Singapore government securities, the bond, I think the interest rate at the point in time was at all-time low because of the COVID and pandemic, right? And so at the time, the SGS, the yield was also very low. Okay, so if you bought or subscribed at the point of time, and if you were trying to sell it today, okay, your price would have dropped by, I think, 10-20%. Okay. About. Okay, so, but of course, if you hold it till maturity, you will get back your par value, which is your principal sum. Right? So this is one thing where, it's backed by government, so your capital loss will not happen if there's a redemption.
AAA rating.
AAA rating.
So basically, you're exposed to price volatility. Whereas for the SSB, it's just pure straight redemption, no loss.
But of course, for the SSB, the upside is limited. Right. But for for your SGS, if you buy at the really when they drop a lot and you buy, your yield are higher, and there's also capital.
So you're saying
for
the
that.
other way around, if interest rates go down, then your bond prices will go up. So you get exposed yourself to the upside as well. So basically you face that price volatility, which is something that some people may not want. They just they want a place to just park their money.
Right. Yeah. But as compared to, I think, equity, I mean, this volatility is still quite bearable as compared to equity. The kind of volatility is different.
But I still think there's an advantage for SGS bonds because let's say, for example, you hit a scenario where the interest rate is rising and people are selling the bonds, and the yield you are getting for the SGS bonds, right, is very high yield. Let's say example 6%, and it's AAA backed by Singapore government, right? It's risk free. Why don't you take it?
Okay, but then you could the SSB will be comparable as well, right? They will be at the same interest rate.
But then you have a capital upside on that, right?
Okay.
When it goes back to the maturity, you get your 6%, you get your capital upside on that.
So saying if the yield is really high and you're thinking that it's going to come down, then you want to buy SGS bonds because then when prices the interest rates come down, you have the upside as well.
Correct.
Okay.
And the other distinctive feature between Singapore government securities with SSB is that you can invest it with your CPF, right? So in a time where interest rate was actually very high, and of course you can also consider looking at like T-bills or SGS where they may actually provide a higher yield right, as compared to your CPF. Okay, that time has not come yet, but we may see it.
I think it's actually higher right now. I think higher than the 2.5%.
2.5%, yeah.
It beats the CPF OA right now. So some people may be actually thinking, you know what, I have all this money in my CPF ordinary account, 2.5%. I might as well put some of it in the SGS bond, which earns a slightly higher interest rate.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at 4%.
You're looking at 4% because of the special account.
Yeah.
So I mean, yes, that's the first step. If you have nowhere you want to put it in your SA, you get 4%. But some people have maxed out their special account.
That's right. Yeah, the reason why 4% is because CPF is compounded, right?
Yes.
And then this SGS is simple interest.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I think that's one of the advantages that the SGS has is that you can use your CPF because you can't use your CPF for
SSB.
Yeah. So and there's a limit to how much you can subscribe to SSB, about $200,000.
Yep. So if you have a lot more money than that, too bad.
Overflowing cash.
Overflowing. So you need something else comparable. Then the SGS is something like that.
Yes.
And of course, all of them, you can use your SRS accounts as well, but only CPF for the SGS. All right. So I think those are the main things that, we have. I think these are the differences. Anything else that you can point out between these like two instruments, I guess?
I think for people who are trying, they may wonder or they may have never invested before, or sometimes they were wondering how do you get all these Singapore government securities or treasury bill, right? So actually it's very easy for you to apply it. I mean, on and off every month, every quarter, you will see treasury bill being offered, Singapore government security being offered, and on top of Singapore saving bonds, right? I mean, the application is the same. You go to your any local banks like DBS, the top three bank, UOB or CBC, just log in and then you go to the invest, and under that you have a Singapore government security, and you can choose between Singapore saving bonds, T-bill bond, depends on which one is available at the point of time when you're applying. It's very easy to do it over the internet, right? And of course for SGS and treasury bill, you can sell it with your broker. As long as you have a CDP account.
So basically on the SGX. Basically.
So basically you can trade in two places, either the SGX or the dealer bank, right?
All right. Yeah. I think there's one thing that I probably want to highlight between the SSB and SGS is that your redemption, let's say you want to have an early redemption. The thing with the SSB is that you only get your money the following month. So there's a window this month where you can basically buy or sell. And then if you choose to sell it, you got to wait the following month to get your money. So is
up to 30 days.
Up to 30 days, because it depends on when you execute that sell. Yes. Yeah. Would that be a consideration for you if this money is actually meant to invest, you're waiting for market opportunities, and then it's like,
I think what matters to me is capital preservation, right? The principle that I put in, by the end of the day, when I try to get out, it has to be 100%, right? Okay. So if I don't want to have the risk, SSB will be my top choice, right? If, let's say I have overflow of money, right? And then of course, treasury bill will be the next option, and then followed by SGS. Because those two, if you try to redeem early, that is subject to your principal. There's a risk on the principal.
I think there's no concern for SSB to have the 1 month, because at the end of the day, if you really there's a market opportunity, recession happens, usually it takes a few months You know,
Okay.
the market will go down a few months. They don't go down 1 month and go up. That's only one time in COVID.
COVID
2020,
was
that's the one exception. Okay, but
Yeah.
in most market crash, right, it takes time. Okay,
Okay.
COVID
Yeah.
exception. That was exception. Okay, if it so happen you put your SSB at that point of time, probably you miss out the boat.
Because I remember COVID March, I
Yeah.
think 20,
Yeah.
23rd
It's
or
just
something
everything
like that.
within
It
1
was at the
month.
bottom, and then within 2 weeks, it went up 20%.
Yes.
So if you like,
Trying to wait for the cash to
Yeah.
come.
so I need my cash from the
Yeah.
SSB.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like,
not
sorry, you
coming,
gotta wait.
So again, we back to probability. So what's the probability that this will always happen?
But there's a
Yeah.
consideration
Yeah.
that you need to take into
Yeah,
account.
correct.
That
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
not immediate.
Yes,
Right?
correct.
And
Yep.
the SGS is kind of immediate because if you can sell it straight away on
Correct.
the secondary market, there's a
Yep.
buyer seller.
Yeah.
You can kind of get it straight away, and then you can utilize that cash immediately if you
Yeah.
want, almost.
Mm.
Right, so these are the things that you need to consider. So I think we wanted to cover, the differences between the SSB, SGS bonds, T-bills. I think this pretty much it. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about these items?
Yeah, I think that's all.
That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a good exposure for people who instead of parking your money in the bank,
Yeah.
right? These are the good option or fixed income option where you can
Yeah.
actually park your money.
Because I think the
Yeah.
interest rates now, I think for fixed deposits, about 1.3%.
Yeah, it's
those are
coming up.
those are
Yeah.
high, but still, they can't beat the bonds that the Singapore government is offering.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and there's, and there are penalties for fixed deposits and all that as well.
Yep.
Yeah, so these are options that you can consider. So just besides the SSB, which got a lot of interest a few weeks ago, because of the 3% interest rate,
Yeah.
we wanted to explore the other bonds that the Singapore government provides as well. And even foreigners can buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just Singaporeans. Yeah, do consider parking your money here as well. Very safe. Okay, so with that, my name is Adam. That is Rusmin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's Victor. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you around again. Of course, if you have any questions about this, put them in the comment section. And if you like this roundtable, please hit the like button. And of course, subscribe to our channel. Many more roundtables coming up. And we'll see you around again. Thank you so much.